after a short break, I'm recording this after these first recordings of the whole situation, which I couldn't completely focus and describe anything which in the way it would make any sense. I maybe will just try to cover a little bit of these lacking things to just make at least any sense. Still a lot of I'm not gonna be able to mention, but just at least a little bit. So from the beginning, as I said, about the situation, making others dependent by a father, about how he gained the knowledge of it by using animals, hurting them, also noticing the behaviors of my twin brother, which had mental issues and was quite sadistic person. So he also used it towards me. He would observe it, learn from it, and then I adapt and use, for example, to gaslight or to like make other against, or to not believe in me, to me or my mother, to compare me or my mother's story to my brother, which actually was sick, and hurting others and stuff like that. But so that was the one of the like beginnings of it. Also how he inspired, like he was always sadistic by the provoking situations, as I think I mentioned, to making the kids like cry or punishing with no reason. The same with animals or with childs like me, as I said, and enjoying some other sadistic things which like my brother could also do, which was like also tricking me. Like, as I said, they both were similar in some sort of how they acted, into tricking me into like that hiding my father's things or his alcohol, drugs or whatever, and then tricking that it's me, so father gonna attack me or get mad on me because of that. Or for example, about father, like he was also the beginnings were also by just enjoying my brother hurting me or him hurting me, when like my brother attacked me with some stick or something he could use as some tool, as a weapon or something to hurt me very often. And then that was also some sort of this recordings he later enjoyed. And after some pathology, he came with idea to make it like money from it, that he can basically monetize it. There's more psychopaths like him, which can also grant him more access to different tools. He was managed to make my mother, which was becoming more and more invalid, to be more reliable on him. Also to manipulate her to agree for unethical things, to propose for certain things. To do something against me, because there were like, it's also very long to describe all, but there were situations when at the beginning he was like trying to put mother also in the situation of this person, or this, I think even calling it like some sort of sadistic Truman Show or something could be the case, like to her into such point, but then I like prevented it and protected, like by giving her information, because obviously if she was invalid, she was lying in the bed, she was cut off completely from information. Why I'm describing it also, and why it's also important, the past, it's important to know how currently the manipulation also works, and how these criminals just works, because it's similar way as it was like the completely different situation obviously, and now it's much bigger scale, and but the ways of manipulations are similar a little bit. So about my mother, me as informing her about the steps father takes to make her, although she was like to make her basically dependent fully, or to cancel in eyes of the rest of family, to hate her, and to able to do evil things. I like protected, stands against, and then like could save from such things. But then I became basically also because I wasn't caring so much into my situation, like I was taking some steps, but after all, he could control it easily, because I at the beginning didn't knew that that he has access like to all my like recordings or my other evidences or proofs that I gathered as a child about this pathological situation. So later he could just easily make me unable to like do something with that, to solve this problem. About like other examples, maybe like of provoking. I mentioned about like alcoholism or drug addiction of my father, which that's also, and about how he acted, about like when I told something which could be potentially harmful for him, so that he has sadistic behaviors, or that he was hurting this animal, or that he have some certain tools or certain toxins which he keeps in the other room, to other than for example making me scared to not say it anymore, or to say that I was lying because he was expecting that I can record something which he could have problem later on with, and he was constantly recording 24/7. So if he captured such moments which he found useful to use to manipulate later on, or make some deepfakes, or put out of context, etc., he could just like save such recording, or save such a part of the recording from the hidden camera, or his phone, or whatever he was recording me on, and then used against. So yeah, as I said about these beginnings, how it escalated, then it was more like keeping inside of the room, or even about manipulations. It was much smaller scale, because it was more like calling to the in the school. Also, other example I can now remember is the with the teachers, when he was like calling the teachers inside of the school, saying fake stories about me, then to make them against, to make me fail, for example, on exams or whatever. So then he could say that it's me, because just that it's my fault or something, and put himself as the person which cares so much. Or for example, after poisoning me, when I felt poison, felt terrible and was puking, or just lying in the bed, and or as I mentioned, change the air to change the toxins which evaporated, which he wiped or spread it remotely. Then saying that I'm the bad one there, because covering all the things, hiding all the evil things he does, and only showing the part when, for example, I couldn't go for the exam, or I was sleeping, or for very long. Saying that it's because I'm lazy, or I'm just evil, or I'm a bad person, or somebody who believes as me, but that I have evil spirits or something, right? But mostly about just evil bad intention, or a mental disaster, and he's as a poor person, which yeah, just as a narcissist does in this case. And that's just an example of his actions. Which like from the others, like just I think that's the most important, the way it was made in the past, when it began. So just without even covering, like even describing it much more, to not be stuck again as in these previous recordings. Already feel weak again, and but yeah, we'll just maybe okay. So that's just how it worked, how it began. And yeah, so this how it began, about the how it escalated. Also a little bit describe maybe about the ways I didn't say of invigilation. I mentioned the malwares, the hidden cameras, yeah, like tricking others to, for example, track in some way, to record different things I'm doing, to just have the information to prevent me from informing others about such ugly things. That's the same that the situation it was, and it happened later in Poland, later also like in different places. I didn't mention the like about the scale, as I said it since like 2 years or 2 or 3 years, that the scale became like significantly bigger, like from the scale of me inside of the hostel, and just when I was in the hostel in the work, and like some people were involved, so me in the place I was living, people around, so all the neighbors around, people in the work or my colleagues, and people living around the work, for example, were involved to just invigilate, to just for example poison or do other sort of things, or trick me that I'm this or that, and record it, and just to make the like base for making deepfakes from it. Then after that was like 3 years ago, I'm not sure now. After it became much also bigger. Then also like in Poland, I described it a lot already. In Netherlands, as I said, a lot of different cities. So like Amsterdam, Rotterdam, Utrecht, from the biggest ones, or the Hague, or many other smaller ones. Basically all of the not like all bigger towns, or all the cities, I would say. I think in the Poland also I mentioned about these bigger cities, like yeah, the different like it happened basically in the government buildings or police offices, such sort of things, in the like yeah, the hostels, in a lot of like the biggest like institutions or hotels, Sanepits or other things that such things should never happen, like the police office or something. But as I said, the poisoning and the rest of the thing. But I already feel quite weak. Yeah, so about also how it's made, I mentioned about the mail, in the mailboxes, or convincing people, involving only part of the whole group of the people which are found to be useful, and then like involving or incriminating the rest which can not know what they are doing. So for example, if that's the case of the shift, if some person which shifts some products, some food products or whatever, some people can be involved, and some of people can be even not involved and even didn't know that they are actually changing, like doing rebuild or whatever in the shop, and actually doing a crime. But yeah, I hope that it's gonna be described much more later. I know I'm just feel quite weak. Yeah, so that's about this, how it escalated. And as I said, currently it's more just cutting access to everything, basically, to which also makes sadistic content for them, which they can make, like, I mean, record such things of suffering, and to be able to make then the recordings which they gonna use to put out of context or to manipulate to others. That's what I said in previous recordings, these 3 ones, about the work, about the just the daily routine, or about the just or about just starvation or hydration, and yeah. So yeah, like, and what I can say also, maybe why it keeps such thing, why it exists, it's because of the calculated manipulation, segregating people which can agree or not for unethical things, not just building the web, the network, so not all gonna be exposed, but only some people, and there not gonna be relations between, for example, other victim and me as the major victim, or there not gonna be relation about some people because don't know me, don't know my name, don't know any information about me, and only was somebody wanted to hurt me and even cannot confront it, but notice that something is probably wrong, that this is actually probably the innocent guy which is victim of some evil deviant sadists, and is opposite as somebody says, and but then don't have any sort of connection or any sort of details, and obviously about the like how abstract it sounds. That's also what I realize when I'm like describing these videos and I'm talking about this now, how abstract it sounds that somebody would be managed to basically to just find out the way of influencing every, no matter what institution, no matter what group of people is it, by not noticing it by majority of the people there. As I said, in the police office, with the ways of I mentioned it, or the like shops or the grocery stores or the other things like some buffets or hotel buffets or other things, yeah, or electronic shops, and or just in the social care institution or any other help institutions. Yeah, just I already feel like much weaker, so I'm gonna end now. Just that this may be one part of covering this, I don't know, facts I didn't mention about, which and maybe I would just like make a break, like 5 minutes, then go back, and or maybe that's it for now, and that's all. I don't know. Okay,